Panthers versus Cardinals Sunday. I'm a broken record coming to the Panthers. We could record this, change, like an answering machine. The Panthers are playing the Cardinals, and they need to pay attention to the young guys. That's it. It's progress from the young players. I don't really believe in this, but I kind of believe in this. I don't care if they win or not. If you learn something good about your young players every week, if your players get better, the experience is valued. If they learn from their mistakes every week, the players that you expect to be around for the longevity of this rebuild, if they get better every week, that is a win. Maybe even more so than an actual win. So much of it comes back to Bryce, but it's not just him. It's Bryce. We had a caller call in earlier to talk about Jalen Coker. It's Jalen Coker. It's J.C. Horn. Is he more information gained on whether you need to break the bank to pay him or if you're going to go another route? Is there anything you can learn about Jadeveon Sanders? Xavier Legette obviously out with an injury, but what do you learn about him as a pass catcher? There are so many young guys on this team that you want to learn about. How much did Bryce Young learn from his early struggles this year? We get to find that out this weekend, right? Because Bryce did turn his season around. Give him credit, right? The first 2 games, like multiple bad adjectives, horrendiferous, like just horror awful, just terrible, right? Then he was benched. Then there was a month off. Then he came back and he was much better. What did he learn during that? Because every time you play bad in the NFL, you can't take a month off. You can't. As much as some people would love to, right? And that's in every industry. Hey, we got the big presentation coming up. We're going to close the sale. If you don't close the sale, I'm taking a month vacation. You can't do that. You have to be able to dust yourself off, get back on the right train, making sales the next day. So what did Bryce Young from that situation learn? And can he apply it faster? Can he go from 4 turnovers a week ago against the Cowboys, a game where you were favored by the sports books for the first time in years, you lost it going away. Can you come back 1 week later and play better, turn your season around? Or did you not learn enough and you're going to have to go through the whole process over again of, all right, well, let's play bad for a while, let's get benched, and maybe you come back, maybe the starter gets hurt, you get another opportunity. That's not realistic. Can he right the ship in a week rather than a month? If Bryce Young plays really well and you lose the game because Kyler goes nuts, because Marvin Harrison Jr. remembers what kind of prospect he was and just mosses everybody. If that happens, but Bryce plays really well, that's a win, maybe more than an actual win, because you know that your quarterback is developing the traits, the skills mentally necessary to be a quarterback in the NFL for a long time. Jalen Coker, let's talk about him. Jalen Coker, undrafted rookie free agent, is one of the 10 best rookie receivers this year, right? And that's a loosely thrown out. Like, I didn't go through all the rookies and rank them, but it feels like he's a top 10 rookie wide receiver this year. How can he keep earning targets? Sometimes I do think, even when he's out there playing high snap percentages, sometimes I think he gets lost, right? Because when you need a completion, especially when Xavier Legette is healthy, which he's not right now. But when you need a completion, you look for Adam Thielen. When you want to try something crazy or get the big play, you go to Xavier Legette. Right? If there's a play action, you might be looking towards a tight end. Jalen Coker needs to continue carving out his role. And last week I felt like he was being forgotten until he caught an 80-yard touchdown in a very specific situation at the end of the half. I want to see him keep carving out his role. If he makes 5, 10 catches, that's a lot. That's a big gap. 5, 6, 7 catches for 70-plus yards, that's huge. Maybe more so than an actual win. Can the defense fight back against adversity and injury? Because, I mean, let's be real. The cards are stacked. See what I did there? The cards playing against Arizona. The cards are stacked against the Panthers defense. They have a bunch of injuries. Some of their best players are banged up. Some of their most dynamic players are either not playing at 100% or not available at all. Some haven't been available for most of the season. But what was the number one thing talked about when Dave Canales and Dan Morgan took over the team? Culture, right? We want dogs. We want guys that fight. We want to change the way this locker room operates. If that's happening, then you know, you don't feel sorry for yourself in this situation. You go out and you play well anyway. If you haven't yet, go listen to the Dan Campbell speech about the Lions dealing with their injuries. I'm not going to do a Dan Campbell impression because it always ends up just talking about hunks and kneecaps. But the Lions have been absolutely crushed with injuries, and he basically gives his team no excuses. We're going to put the best 11 guys we have available out there, and we're going to play well. And if so-and-so gets hurt, we're going to replace him with someone else, and we're going to play well. I think that the Cardinals are a good team to have that attitude against. They want to run the ball. I know Kyler, running around and throwing it off balance is what the highlights are, but Arizona wants to run the ball and they want to find the tight end. It's Kyler Murray, but it's really James Conner and it's Trey McBride. That's their tight end who has 1 billion catches and no touchdown catches. It is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, tight end sliding out to the flat. And if you're a team that maybe is banged up on defense and you're going to try to get through it with energy and effort, stop the run, man. Be more physical. Shed the block. Knock his head off. Dave Canales is not Dan Campbell. I kind of want him to be a little Dan Campbell-y this week. I'm not sure the Dan Campbell shtick works everywhere. It fits perfectly with Detroit. It fits perfectly with that team, right? Jared Goff being cast off from L.A. and moving to Detroit, that's perfect for Dan Campbell's whole shtick. I'm not sure that works everywhere. I'm not sure it works all the time either. I think Dave Canales could play some of it this week. You got hit in the face. Yeah. Your quarterback turned it over 4 times last week. Yeah, our running game's not working. Yeah. I don't care. Nobody cares. Work harder. Find a way. And from an X's and O's standpoint, protect Bryce. Brad Idzik, the offensive coordinator, spoke to the media this week, and he talked about just that, improving the pass blocking and protecting Bryce Young.
We all take onus in timing and rhythm of the pass game. I think is a huge thing. Trying to marry up what we're asking the O-linemen to do, where their help's coming from, and when they do have help, and then when we're asking the receivers to have their eyes for the ball, and Bryce to be ready to deal with it, to deal it out quicker, or some of these you're going to have to hold on for a little bit longer. So I think it's all of us as a unit understanding, like, hey, there's a couple concepts that we're going to ask you to hold on to the ball when you have a good pass rush group like Dallas last week. Like these guys are very exotic in their pressure group this week. They're just going to be certain instances when we need, to be on the same page of looking quicker and then, asking the O-line to hold up.
I'm not worried about the offensive line. Not to say they played well last week. They didn't. But they're talented. They're highly paid. They've been playing well all year. A bad game is a bad game. I'm not worried about it. If they play better, it would make it easier on Bryce, though, which I am worried about. So it's all connected.